So what I find is that there are lots of people who feel like they are required to be someone's knight in shining armor, that they are required to ride in on the horse and do whatever that person wants them to do to get them what they want, and that they don't see a way out of that. They've sort of trapped themselves into it. And what I would say to that person is, well, how quickly do you want to die? Maybe not physically, but emotionally, and your spirit will die if you are continually being one person to yourself and someone else to the world. So I would invite those people to figure out what it means to be self-referenced instead of other-referenced. To figure out what it means to say, I'm going to wear these clothes because they make me feel good, not because that's what someone else expects of me. To say, I'm going to do my life this way because that's what makes me feel good, and not what my mother or my grandmother or my neighbor expect. It is a liberating experience, and it is so easy to get used to. You will never go back to pretending to be somebody that you're not. What I would say is take a trip by yourself or to some facilitated outing, and have somebody guide you through figuring out what it means to be you, because you know what it means to be you. You may have forgotten, but you know deep down. And so the sooner you find that authentic self-expression, the sooner you will be able to move on with your life. And you'll quit attracting people who put you into bad relationships, and you'll quit worrying what other people think. You'll start being the band leader instead of the second chair trumpet. You will start really glowing, and it's all worth it. It's all worth it to figure all that out. And nobody else can do it for you. You can't go and read it in a book. What you can do is go have somebody witness for you. There's a great song by Dar Williams, and one of the lines in it is, sometimes I see myself fine, sometimes I need a witness. And having that witness to say, this is what I see when you're being you, and to have somebody give you that feedback is miraculous. It's a life-changing event, and something that everybody should be required to do when they're about 18 years old. But they don't, and so it's never too late. It is never too late. Start now, right now. What I found is that when I tried to change my practice from a litigation practice to a collaborative practice, I had no idea what I was doing. I just had this overwhelming desire to make it work, and so I decided that it would, and it did. But in looking back at it, I know I can identify some elements that really helped. One was that I had an associate working for me who was doing litigation. So I wasn't completely turning away all that work that was coming in the door. I had somebody else who was willing and able and eager to do that. And I could supervise it if I needed to, but I really didn't have to do very much of that. That was probably the main part. And if I thought about it, I might have come up with that idea, but maybe not. It just happened that way. But I do think that was a major part in making it work. I continued doing mediations during that time while I was ramping up my collaborative practice. But it became very clear to me that it was my responsibility to make sure that collaborative law worked in my community. So I was out beating the drum and blowing the whistles and recruiting people, which was actually a very interesting experience in and of itself, because it taught me that there's no such thing as competition. That I have to offer what I have to offer, and nobody else can match that. They're going to do it differently, no matter what it is, no matter who they are, they're going to do it differently. But also, in the collaborative community, the more you give, the more you get. I mean, it really is true. The more people you recruit to practice with you, the more cases there are. And the more cases there are, the more allied professionals are going to come in. The more allied professionals there are, the more people there are telling people about collaborative law. So it is really this very generous community that you can't understand unless you've experienced it, especially when you're coming from the model that says you can't have my clients if you are doing what I'm doing, then we're competing and we can't both do well. And that's simply not reality anymore for me. So that's been a huge benefit to me. It's a return of collegiality, and not just collegiality, but intimate, connected relationships with the people I work with. When was the last time you hugged your opposing counsel in trial? Really? You just don't do that. It's the kind of vulnerability that will come back and bite you someday. And yet that kind of connectedness is what makes our collaborative community work. I think that when you are authentic and you really believe in something, that you really don't have to do a lot to convince people that what you're saying is the truth. That's not always true. There are people who are, want you to go a little bit farther and give them a little more evidence. But my experience has been that if I believe that this is the best model for people to be working with, then they will also believe that. And if they believe it, then it's true, because that's my reality, it's their reality. And if I'm working with other professionals who are also buying into the model, it's also their reality. So what else is there? The approach or the model that we use in Texas is the single coach model. So we have one mental health professional, neutral, one financial professional, neutral, and 2 lawyers on a team. And that has really developed into, or worked its way into, something that can be magic. When you have advocates who are who understand the idea of working together toward a common goal, where you're not in competition, where there's not a mentality of scarcity, then it really does have a way of working itself out. I find that I just start talking about collaborative law as if everybody already knows about it and believes in it, and by the time I'm finished, they do. It's very interesting to see how things have grown exponentially since 2000, and how now most of my clients, more than half, are calling in and asking for collaborative services, right, as opposed to coming in and me having to sell them on it. They know about it. So the tipping point is reached. We couldn't stop this movement if we wanted to. Is it right for everybody? No, it's not right for everybody. But for a very long time, there's been only one choice, and that's litigation. And that's definitely not right for everybody. I don't fault the people who do litigation. I feel like it's like, do you want lobster or steak? You know, it's 2 good alternatives that we didn't have before. So most people understand that they will benefit from going about this uncoupling process in a way that offers them and their spouse the opportunity for growth. Maybe they don't take the opportunity, and that's okay. My job's not to make them take it. My job is just to give them that opportunity. And many of them do. And that's fun to watch when they actually come out better than they were when they